Volume 7. We are at the end of Volume 7 of the Bible story by Arthur S Maxwell. And this is my book. My book has Mary and then Jesus. And then on the back it has Joseph. Okay, we're at the last story. Part 4. Story 10. The lunatic made sane. Lunatic. It means crazy person. As the morning dawned and calm and beautiful, the boat in which Jesus and his disciples had crossed the lake glided onto the sheltered grove on the eastward shore. Everything seemed so peaceful after the wild and terrible night that all on board looked forward to a quiet and restful day. But it was not to be. Hardly had they started up the trail to the foothills when two lunatics rushed on them out of the cemetery where they had been hiding among the tombs. They were a fearful sight. Madness was in their eyes and voices. Blood spewed from their naked bodies where they had cut themselves with stones. Broken chains fettered around their wrists and ankles, clanking as they ran. Some of the people would have fled in terror, but from such hideous, dangerous men, but not Jesus. He was not afraid of anybody or anything. He could sleep through a storm at a sea and stand calmly while a couple of lunatics run toward him. These poor men were actually possessed by devils, who recognized Jesus at once. "What do you want from us, O Son of God?" they cried as they drew near him. "Have you come to torment us before the time?" They knew that Christ was their master and that they were powerless in his presence. They knew too that he would cast them out of the men whose minds they now controlled. So they asked if they might be allowed to enter in a herd of swine that were feeding nearby. Jesus gave them permission, and suddenly the herd of swine became as mad as the two men had been, changing crazily hither, chasing, charging crazily hither and yon. They plunged at last deep into a steep place onto the lake and were drowned. News of this miracle was carried to the nearest town by the swineherders, who feared that they would be blamed for the loss of the animals. Very excited, the people came running to find out what had happened. They saw an amazing sight. Their pigs had disappeared, but the two lunatics, who for years had been the terror of the neighborhood, were sitting at the feet of Jesus, clothed and in their right minds. No doubt the disciples had shared their own clothes with them and helped them clean up with the waters of the lake. In any case, there they were, perfectly sane and normal. The city people were filled with fear and begged Jesus to go away. They were afraid they might lose more of their pigs if he stayed around much longer. It did not occur to them at least not then, that if he were to stay around them, he might bring help to another poor soul in need. So much fuss did they make that Jesus agreed to leave at once. As he made his way down to the boat, the two men whom he had healed begged to allow to go along with him. But Jesus would not let them. No, he said, go back to your homes and tell your friends and loved ones what God had done for you. And then it has a two-pager of the two crazy men in chains in front of Jesus, or two crazy men, or two men naked in chains in front of a man, and then some pigs falling off a cliff. And it's a two-pager. And we could go theological in there, but you can go and do your own. When you get old enough, you can go, and if you like, you can go and find out what everything means. Okay. So they stood on the shore and waved goodbyes as the boat sailed away. Then they did as Jesus had told them. They went back home and told everybody how great things the Lord had done for them. They were the first missionaries Jesus ever sent out, and certainly among the best. So well do they so well did they tell their story that soon everybody for miles around were talking about Jesus and longing to see him. These who had asked him to go away were ashamed of what they had done. And, sorry for the robot, and when some time later Jesus returned to Gadara, they were all waiting for him, and everybody received him gladly. It just shows how much two people can do when they start talking about the great things Jesus had done for them. These two men were these two men who had once been lunatics made all the people in Gadara long to meet Jesus. Had Jesus done something great for you? Has he shown his love for you in one way or another? Has he given you a right mind when you were being angry or foolish? Has he helped you to get rid of some bad habit? Then why not tell everybody about it? Who knows what the result may be? Your brave witness may lead thousands to him. And then it has a picture of them not being bound with the chain and waving at the boat. And then, of course, it's the end of the book. There's the inside of the book on the back side. And this is what the book, give me a second. This is what the book looks like in full. It opened. So that is the end of volume 7. And I'll be back as soon as I possibly can with the rest. See you in a bit.